Looking for music that lifts your spirit and fills your heart? Experience the powerful sound of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square. Now streaming on all your favorite music platforms. Find the Tabernacle Choir on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Pandora. Let the music of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square inspire you today and every day. Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the go, enjoy the beauty of their world-renowned sound anytime. The Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square, streaming now.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
We're going to talk right now with Arizona. We're going from one coach to another. Arizona head coach Brent Brennan throwing on the headset with us here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Coach, thank you very much for a few minutes. Great to see you.
No problem. Good to see you, too.
Hey, we had a chance to talk to Noah Fafita earlier today, and obviously covering the conference for a few years. We're familiar with him, and what a special young man. I'm sure you have high expectations for him this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that young man never ceases to amaze all of us, and just what he contributes to our team, our program, and our community.
I'm curious now, going into to year 3, you took over at Arizona. I heard a little bit of you talking up at the podium and being behind a little bit and then really catching your footing in year 2. Tell me what clicked last year.
I think the biggest thing is that we just decided.
Speaking of the man, we were just talking about you.
He's the best right there. No, I think the biggest thing is I think we did a good job of defining, what our expectations are for how we're going to operate as a program day in and day out with our coaches, with our players. We have great alignment on the staff. And then everybody's ready to move forward together. And we just kind of made it really simple for the players and the in baseline, what we were bringing in and what we were keeping there in terms of our players and our personnel was simply like tough, love football, and want to be at the U of A. And if you don't have those 3 things, then go play somewhere else. And that ended up being a good formula for us.
So now they've got some expectation and momentum. Does it change things at all going into this year?
I think we're still looking for the same clarity of kind of a purpose and culture and how we're going to build the team we want to build. I think with the expectations comes a little bit more of like how do you manage that with your team. There's the public side, the outward facing stuff where everyone's kind of kissing their butt as they're walking around town and telling them how sweet they are and all that stuff. And so there's a lot of conversations with us is just like, is that making you soft? Is that making you not about the right things here, not about the process? And I think our senior leadership on our team and then also our coaching staff's done a good job of fighting to keep us on track.
So with that in mind, what do you want the strength of the team to be, or what ideally would be the strength of the team?
Really I want our identity to be a team that plays harder than everybody else, and you can see it when you turn on the tape, and then a team that looks like they're having more fun than everybody else. And I think, today's day and age with football and kind of the profile and how big time it is, I think sometimes the fun can get a little bit lost in the process, but I want our players to enjoy the journey and enjoy the experience, and I think we can do both.
What do you think of the league now you've been in it a couple of years?
God, the league is tough, man. It's impressive. Everyone's good. Everyone has good players. Everyone's well coached. I've been incredibly impressed with just week in and week out what that looks like, and for our players to understand and for our staff to understand that, in this league most of the games are decided in the last 8 minutes of the game, and so get ready for a 4-quarter fight, and that's how it's going to be for every game in the Big 12.
This may sound like a dumb question, but how do you prepare your team for those critical moments? Because you're right, it seems like we're watching close games all week, every week.
Just try and educate them, try and show them, some video proof of what that looks like. Try and show them some of our games from last year, and then in the practice environment, try and create some of those situations where they have to operate in that space.
How does your defense look this year?
I think it looks good. Now we lost 4 players. We lost 5 players to the NFL in the secondary. 4 got drafted. Another one signed as a free agent. It's a really great group of guys. But I got a ton of faith in Danny Gonzalez, our defense coordinator. And then those guys in the secondary, they've demonstrated that they can develop players and get them ready to play. So I got a lot of faith in Chip Viney and Brett Arcee, who split our secondary duties. So I'm excited to see what they do with the group we got in there. We
live and breathe the Utah-BYU rivalry, so I like asking other coaches about rivalries. And tell me about the Arizona State rivalry.
It's fun. I think it's one of those ones where, in the state, most everybody went to one school or the other. And so the hatred is real. It's got like a real edge to it. It can be a little bit nasty with the team up north. But it's also fun to look forward to that game and to know what that is, when you're getting ready to play them.
You've got to go, I believe, I don't have it in front of me, apologies, but you're going to Provo this year, right?
We
and
are.
Utah is coming
To us.
to you. Can you talk briefly about those two squads and what do you expect from those games?
I think those will be two of the best teams in the league. You know what I mean? I think that both those programs have demonstrated that over the years, and I think that those we had a crazy game with BYU last year, in the double overtime, loss for us, but got a ton of respect for Kalani and a ton of respect for Morgan, and so I think obviously the BYU thing is early, which makes it weird because you're going to just have this like super high profile game to me early in the season on the road at a place that's tough to play. But at the same time, it's also going to be a lot of fun because it's going to have all kinds of energy to it. It's going to have the crowd will be crazy. The TV stuff will be big, and the story around the game will be big all week, so it'll be fun.
This may be projecting, but I feel like the western part of the league that kind of everybody but BYU, I guess, came in together. It feels like there's almost, maybe not a rivalry, but a special relationship with those schools.
I don't know about – I mean, I think just because there's familiarity there.
Yeah, right.
Like it's like they were all part of the Pac-12 together. They all left and came to the Big 12 together. So I think that part of it just like it's different when you come into a league like we did. That was my first year at Arizona. Like you're going to all these places where like most of your players and most of your coaching staff has never coached or played a game. It's way different.
Yeah,
I'd played in a bunch of games and coached in a bunch of games at BYU. Like I knew what to expect there. But then when we're getting ready to go to like Iowa State this year, or we're getting ready to go to Central Florida, like you're like that's something different.
It's all new.
It's totally new.
Well, listen, Coach, thank you very much for a few minutes. I know you're very busy. We really appreciate it, and look forward to seeing you in Arizona a couple of times play our local schools.
Sounds good. Bear down.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.